Big West in the building. You got the best name, man. West Skies. We'll be getting underway shortly. Having a little coffee. Prepping. A little bit of morning chillaxation. Good to see you out here, Wes. I rarely get to say my name out loud. The only other Wes's I knew were my father, and I would dare not rest his soul. But today, I think we're gonna get into some experiments, some scrap wood stuff. I think I'm gonna try to turn into something. Little progress on a spoon, so let me deal with that a little bit. Gonna try to get some prime, some paint on these doors I'm resuscitating for the vanity remodel. Carnage Bladesmith, what's good, man? Our warriors. I got to say, style photo of you and the wife. Oh, thank you, man. She is, she's a cutie and better than I deserve, I'll tell you that. But I'm trying. I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying every day. Trying to be the shepherd. Oh, the night was good. The night was good. Got no complaints. Good food. Great companion. What's better? What's better than that? What's better than that? Nice kid-free night. She lets me play in the shower. Yeah. Well, you know, she gets a lot of benefit from me being down here. I'm sure. Keeps me out of her hair. Got that block of wood too. Not entirely sure what to do with it. Carnage, look what I found the other day. It's on the back of my truck. I bet you can identify that knife. I bet you can tell me the brand of that knife. I'm gonna leave it right there. Still can't guess what that is. Boo on you. I'll reveal it later. I'm going to take that thing apart, see if I can figure out the mechanics of the parts, and see if I can make the parts and make my own fold-out knife. It's a boy's dream. But right now, let's go ahead and thinking about a lot of my carving tools, and I was thinking I don't have a ton of carving tools, and then I realized I have a whole another set of carving tools that I just don't use because they didn't come very sharp, and I hadn't developed quite a way to sharpen a lot of them. So, no time like the present. I think today we'll work on that. First thing I'm going to do though is sand down and clean up this top. I just want this top to get cleaned up a little bit. Give me a quick sec. I think I'm going to spend a portion of this day sharpening up these weirdo tools and some of those weirdo files. I'll be back. set up some whetstones here. All these, I have no idea how to carve them. Yo, mister, yo, plywood, what's up, smoke? Yo, man, y'all piled in here. Peace, peace, peace. Dab to all of you. Yes, yes, yes. Good to see the brothers in the building. Yeah. Alright. So I got all this. And I got all these weird shapes, right? And I had these weird shaped tools early. And when I say early, I mean like 8 months ago when I started this channel. But I didn't know how to sharpen these and I don't know how to use them. So today I'm going to experiment with them a little bit and see what they all do and sharpen them. Because if I recall, they were not sharp. Let's see. This one, right, obviously is some sort of gouge. Or does it make a... Oh, that's cute. That's good. Let's sort of draw with that. If you keep going with it, what does it do? I ain't mad at it. It's like a little gouge. It could be sharper. Today it will be. Let's see what this does. It's like a little V. Not staying long, I get ready for my show. Yo, Diamond Jar forever. See, going with the grain is doing that. Going against the grain. Or across the grain, that's just tearing. So that ain't sharp. Well, it's obvious what it can do. I would venture to say this is just a gouge. This would be an incredible tool if it were sharp at all. It's an extremely scary tool, not sharp. So yeah, that's got to get sharp. That didn't even penetrate the... That's not sharp even a little bit. The President Talks. Howdy, how you doing? Two dudes, what's up? Two dudes, a couple of fellas. Pair of men. Well, that's not surprising what that does. And I would imagine this isn't either. But they're extremely dirty, looks like. Let's see if this is sharp at all. Seems to be. Seems to be. We'll touch it up then. But it won't be a priority. These curved tools absolutely need to get dealt with. Now, what I did yesterday on this thing was I did the whole thing with sandpaper, with wet sandpaper, and it performed beautifully. So, better than I had ever performed with that particular tool before. So, I'm going to stick with it, the technique, and I'm going to try it on this stuff here. they're all round as well. So what I'll do, this is 400 grit. This is going to be a process, so you have to bear with me. Bear with me, champs. 400 grit. Down on that tip. And this is wet. Better wet. And higher grits. Now I have to jump straight to 15 because I couldn't find my 800. You can see it this way. I mean, that's a real simple way to go about it. You can totally feel when you're making full contact. It's not a lot of effort. Right. And then we would take that 15, jump up to the 2 thigh yow. Get that up. So what are y'all up to this morning other than you, Smoke? I know you're doing the high noon show today, yeah? I'll check Smoke out at noon o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Is that Eastern Standard Time, Smoke? Or is it Central? Where are you at? I know you're in Texas. Oh, no, you're in Florida. That's Eastern Standard Time. Plywood up to no good. Plywood up to no good. That's my guy, Plywood. Right there. That's my buddy right there. And then we're going to go to, that was 2,000. We'll go ahead and hit the 3,000. And we'll call that unnecessary. High noon Eastern. Woohoo! Smoke has a good time over there. And the channel is growing. The vibe is growing. But the vibe was lit from the start. But we've got to see Smoke work on a lot of the cool technical stuff. It's like an inspiration, a wealth of knowledge over there. Okay. Let's see if this did anything. I'm going to go to our same little block. And we're going to go across the screen and just see if this was enough. Uh-oh. Maybe I shouldn't do it wet, right? That's probably not the best idea. I don't know though. I mean, sort of, yeah. But this is really soft wood, I believe. Let me check it. If this chisel gets in it, like. It's not too bad, but I don't know. It's a little grainy. It could be a directional issue. Don't like it. Whew. I lost my finger. See, I don't like that. I think I got just the tip. I think I need to maybe bring that whole shaft down. it feels relatively useless like this. So I am willing to put a hurting on this thing to get it right. So I'm gonna start with this. This is probably some 100 grit, and I'm gonna see if I can work that angle better. I don't like it. I'm gonna do this wet too. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. I'm sorry I'm so boring. It's moving. Ooh, it's hot. Shit. Shoot. But it is moving. Excitement Smoke. What's up, Craig? How you doing? Depression Tale says like and subscribe. Talks. I'm gonna start calling you DT. I don't like saying that name out loud too much. It makes me sad a little bit, if I'm being honest. I guess that's my problem, man. Alright. Yeah. But you know, we also have at our disposal that belt sander over there, that belt sander. So how y'all doing? What are you doing with your Sunday? Watching me, getting some yard work done, getting some housework done, resting, cooking up some food. What we doing? Couple ways to skin these cats. We're gonna try to find some new ones today. Well, I can't say new ones. These are time tested practices, I'm sure. Or I'm doing it wrong. I could just be completely doing this wrong. All right. Oh no! What should I do? Helmet. Good morning, Wes. May your coffee be strong and your creativity be stronger. Magnificent. Every time, some kind words and some wise words. Because my coffee should be strong. What am I making? Currently, I'm not making anything. I am reblading these and sharpening these tools up incorrectly. As Satan Arukatu Carvin. Bruce the Gray, what up? Good to see you in the building, man. There for carving. Wooden carving tools, exactly. And these groups of tools, two things, admittedly, they are not expensive, but they're also relatively unfamiliar to me in practice and function. So what I've been doing is carving a little bit. Oh my gosh, that sharpened up. That's better than it was. So I've been working on getting these sharper. And so now I'm back to 3,000, 2,000, 1,500. That was good. I liked it. I feel like these results were very close to what I was wanting. So I'm going to do that real quick. Meaning I'm going to put those on the paper again. This one, anyway. And I'll see if I can refine that edge. Thanks, Depression Talk. Yeah, I'm going to start with this 1500 grit sandpaper, wet sand. And then I appreciate that. I like my workshop. It's on the way. It's on the way. And part of it is I don't know exactly how long I should have to do this, you know. I'm going to do it a little bit. And we'll learn as we go. You know what I mean? And we're going to jump into the 3K. Does that do anything to metal? I use those grits on paint. It refines that blade. That's what we're doing mostly by the time we get this high. Sort of polishing and refining the blade. And that's exactly what I use them for as well. It's for paint. That's why they're in the shop. But it crosses over and they're actually a good option for finishing curved blades. You can kind of see now what kind of edge we're getting on that. And that's always a good sign. We also just happen to have our strop handy dandy. Let's get some stuff on it. polishing compound, I think, would be the proper. And with this one, I'm just going to do it the same way I did the stone. Pull the tool so the edge is pulling away. I'll slow it down, you can see my motion. And I'm just rolling it as I go so I can polish that entire edge. And this is mostly a carving tool, right? But I've only recently started that, so I haven't used it yet. Most of the carvings I've done so far have mostly been with straight blades, and then I recently got a carving set. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see how this does. And we're going across this grain, and we could be going up the grain as well. There's some resistance, but that's a clean cut. So, without a doubt, this is better than it was if we were going the easy way with it. It's just no problem at all. You can scoop with that all day. Well, I don't know about all day, but you can scoop with it. Wes does it. Looks like you have plenty of instructors this morning. I'm going to let it get to it so I'm not running last. Second. Last. Have a great session. Thanks. Appreciate that. Let's see. Maybe I got some people in here teaching me how to do it. A butter wood pad? I don't know what that is. Andreas, how you doing? We are having a good session here today. So we did learn how to do that one. And that's a little better than it was. I'm not going to front like it probably could be a little better. But right now I'm going to take that win. Take that win. Because I think what's happening is that blade rounds off. And it could be a little more gradual when it hits that very tip. But it's cutting and it's pulling, and it's better than it was. We'll take that as a victory in a moment. This one, however, that just essentially looks like two blades on an angle. Maybe that's 80 degrees. Yeah, maybe 80 degrees. Maybe 80, 70. 76, 77 degrees. Anyways, I think I can just do those flat, and I'll run through the regular process with the whetstones on this one. And I think I've got another over here like that. So we're going to find that angle. Keep it going. Find that angle. Jump up to the 1000 grit. Run 1000 again. Yo, Lions, what's good, man? And here doing some sharpening of the odd-shaped chisels and tools and carving tools that I almost forgot I even had because I've neglected them because I was not skilled enough to figure out how to sharpen them yet. And it appears today is the day. I'm going to jump straight to the 2000 here on this one. And I'm going to pull right across that. And I can just flip it to the other side. Now we'll see. Dry it off right quick. We'll see if that does any better than it did. I don't know what it did. I just slid across the top of the surface, I think. Oh, it's a bad angle. Or does that have to be like a sharper? I don't know about this. Woo! I don't like it. Let's look at it. It's sort of a V. But this turns in so sharp that it doesn't let the back end cut. I don't know how that would work even as a tool. Or maybe it's just improperly cut, needs to be cut better. I would imagine what would be better is if that was flat going across the top instead of at this angle that makes this cut back. I don't know quite. Let's see. See, that one's not quite that way. But also, I don't know how it cuts either. Does that. I just don't know what I'd use this for. Like that I wouldn't use that for. And just do two sides of the edge. Let's put that in some water. Hey, Flossie, how you doing? And that is the great mystery of wood. You can start a thing, and as you rotate it, the thing changes, cut changes. Whether you like it or not. But gotta figure out how to navigate those changes as they occur. That wasn't great. Hey, hey, Lulia. Sorry. I am not doing a project today. This is sort of an anti-project day. What I am doing is practicing and sharpening and some experiments to see one, how much sharp tools are and how my not sharp tools are, and maybe see if I can figure out how to get them to sharp tools. But right now, just kind of want to see if I can double bevel this little crescent moon here, and sort of a freestyle with this chisel, because I don't think some of these tools I have are very useful. And that's probably because I don't know what to do with them. So, two things I'm trying to do is learn what to do with them, and then also see if the things that I don't seem to be able to do with them can be done with other tools that I might happen to have and be good at. You know what I mean? So all a shot in the dark today. Isn't that like the little thing they would have on an outhouse back in the day? Cartoons they did anyway. So it just chipped right out. What y'all up to? I like singing in the shower, not humming. Well, do both. You know, humming does something physically good for you, similar to what cats purring does. Something in the vibration that benefits your health. I heard on the internet. So listen, I think I'm gonna go make another cup of coffee. Cause I am freaking nodding. Like I'm spacing on this, which is, you know, just me trying to work out something, but I'm getting drowsy for whatever reason. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna go get me another cup of coffee and I'll just come back. And by then I'll have decided on what I'm actually gonna do. We should build something someday. Or we should at least make some progress on our doors. We do have to wash those doors down today and get them painted. I'll show you how to hand paint and get a nice, clean, perfect finish. But I'll do that when I come back. What do I look for in a man? Uh, hmm. Help, please do a shark bite that goes over each pipe. Should it go inside? Oh. Flossie, yes. Yes. First question. Is it hard pipe or is it soft pipe? Um, Meaning, is it more like a hose or is it more like a hard pipe? Soft pipe, black. Okay. So it's more like a hose. So you might have the right stuff for that. I would suggest I'm gonna show you what you got. Almost. I'm coming. One more piece to this puzzle. Are those hose clamps? Oh, Flossie, hold tight. I'm coming. I'm coming. All right, I'll see if I can find those hose clamps, but I think you know what I mean when I say hose clamps. This is very similar. Smoke will be familiar with this too. These are vacuum lines for a car, and they're very similar to what plumbing things do. And I think what you've got, Flossie, is something like you got a hose. Let's just say these are two broken pipes, like two pieces to, different pipes. And what you did was get that piece here inside of there, right? That kind of corrugated edge, and then you got the other piece inside of the other side. Like that. And then you've got a hose clamp here, and you got a hose clamp here. If it's soft pipe, your best bet is to get those pipes all the way seated. Like that, and put two hose clamps, one here, one here, one here, one here, so that you get the best chance at holding that as possible, because it'll snug down. I was looking at what you got. You got the right idea for a soft pipe. Um, yeah, you're talking about the hose clamps with the little hex screw on them, right? And they tighten around that pipe. Yeah, put two on each side so that you can grab the whole. See how tight they grab when you got both of them on? But you want pressure on that entire width. If it's just right here, it's doing half the work. If it's up here, it might hold and keep from sliding back, but it won't seal all this as well. I try to get the entire width of that shaft inside the pipe, and I try to get it all the way seated and get pressure all the way back on both sides. And that can mean two smaller clamps or two of the same clamp if it'll work. But you want two on each side for that kind of situation. That's like doing a hose, and if it's coming from, like, say, your water hose uh, spigot, if that line's coming from something like that, it's got more pressure than the rest of the house too, because water hose lines sometimes don't pass through the pressure regulator. The rest of the house does, so gives it a little bit more. But I use the screw-in pieces to connect the inner hose. You had two different, when you say inner hose, let me see. I think I cut my center pipe too short because I couldn't get it to sit down into the pipes. Yeah, that possibly is what happened. Good morning. I got my bean juice and notepad. I'm ready. That's funny, Rusty. What you gonna learn over here? Jeez Louise. You be hustling backwards over there. You're having to put a centerpiece to be able to connect them together. Right. And when I say centerpiece, we're talking about that little blue. I think in your case, it's a little blue nip, right? It's a little blue piece, and it's got a nipple on each side, and a hose will go on each side, and then you've got those clamps, right? Yeah, and it is possible. See, smoke. The shark bites. Right. I would say two of them. Boom, 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 boom. The problem with the shark bites is that they only work on actual pressurized plumbing pipes, and the walls of those pipes are thinner than what that rubber pipe is going to do. So a shark bite won't go into that one because of the collar thickness. Yeah, Flossie, I would just say two of them. If all else fails, then you can reuse the collars, but maybe get another coupling, um, and get at least four of those little smoke. You know what I'm talking about. They're just hose clamps. They got the butterfly ones, and then they got those others. Like, I literally saw them last night amongst my mess, and I thought to myself, "Oh, that'll be great. I'll have those for Flossie." And I cannot find them, but she does know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's what you need to do. you're going to need to have two on each side, and then just try it. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. I just don't think you have enough clamps. I've done that literally with my own hose outside, uh, putting a twist on to and just basically extending a water hose that had blown out and left was spraying everywhere. And I cut it off, put that coupler on, did one, and over time it pushed apart. I did two and two, and it was good. You have four clamps on there? Let me look at your short again. See if I can get a better look at it. I froze it last night and looked at it, but I have not looked at it this morning, and I might be mistaken. Ugh, I hate that you're going through this, though. Gosh almighty.
Oh shit.
We're cursing on this video. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is right. The concern I have is one, I like for these to be, like I said, two of them, because you're going to have space, oops, back there in between. Man, I caught that perfect. So if you've got a little space back here where you've got some more of that blue pipe that's extending back, it'll hold it better. But I'm almost looking at this like that black pipe should be all the way up to that bib right there. If you can maybe warm it up with a hair dryer or something, you can get that black pipe all the way up to that bib, right? And then you put that clamp on. You see how that indention is? How it's like a little recess right there on both sides? That's where that clamp ideally would be. You're just too far back. It's probably got a little nipple there. It makes it look like that, but that's what's going to stop the water from going back that way, is that it's sitting on top of that, and that little piece right there will keep the hose from kicking back off of it. And if that hose clamp was right there, I think your problem would be over. And I just moved that up on both sides. There isn't enough room to get into the space. Mm. Oh, so you might need an extension of the pipe itself. You're saying the pipe's already in the ground, right? And it won't get close enough to get to the end of that base on both sides. You end up with like a gap. So what you've done is kind of gone in the middle and gotten a little gap on each side. Maybe a space in the ground. Oh, well, that is what they make shovels for, my Dylan. That is what they make shovels for. Yeah, but if you can, you just have to dig it out and get to it. That's kind of the thing with plumbing, particularly plumbing that's in the ground, is that you have to freaking dig out not only not only where it's at, right? Not only just getting to the pipe, but you got to get to a space where you can get around the pipe and through the pipe and enough to get the tool in the ground and get all of that. Yeah. So if you got a pipe this big, you need a hole that big. If you got a pipe that deep in the ground, you need to dig that deep in the ground. And it seems like more work, but the digging is not as bad as it seems. But it'll save you a lot of headache by giving you room to work and getting the space. That'll help a whole lot. Oh, oh, it's dug out. It's not quite what I meant. I'm sorry. I'm misinterpreting stuff. I can't get it out yet because there's enough room to get it into the space. Do you mean that the pipe will be too short to go where it's going if you got it tight to that coupling? Because it's only about an inch, inch and a half, two at the most. But you don't have 2 inches of slack on that pipe where you could pull it closer to the connector. I have a pipe, connector, pipe, connector, pipe. Okay. So the length of the pipe in the middle is probably what you need to get. Get your length of pipe in the middle that can give you enough space to get to those couplings ends. And it only needs to be, like I said, if you got four of them, because you said you got, I think I'm hearing you right when you say you've got pipe, connector, pipe, connector, pipe. And one of these connectors is the one we're looking at that's leaking. Let's just say it's this one. And what you need to do is get your connectors closer into the pipes. But as you do that, you're going to lose distance, which is going to mean either this pipe needs to be longer or these pipes need to come in or one of these needs to come in. But yeah, that's what you need, I think. Half inch. Half inch is an enormous difference in plumbing. Enormous. Especially in a fitting and an insertion and a coupling. It's an enormous difference. Could move the plastic pipe to go into the connector. You might have to warm it up. Is it cool there? Because I use a hair dryer sometimes to heat up pipes like that. Use a hair dryer, give it gradual heat. Don't just blaze it. But a hair dryer generally won't melt it. If you use a heat gun will act. I've accidentally melted lots of stuff with a heat gun. A hair dryer is a lot more gentle, so you can just keep heating that pipe with the hair dryer. And as you get to the end, it'll start to soften up. And when you can get it squishy, you can start kind of pushing that in, like for what happened here, right? Once it's in, it's a whole lot harder to get that out from there versus halfway, which is there. But if I couldn't have squeezed this in, I would have heated this up and pushed it, and it very easily would have moved over that. Not putting it inside the pipe, but getting it into the pipe. Oh, I'm sorry. Mm. Do you have any more of the pipe where you can maybe get some get some more of that pipe. Plywood says if you remove 6 inches of pipe and replacing with only 5 inches of connector. Hmm. I don't know, but I'm here, Flossie. We can talk about it. Yes, I can cut another piece. Got a long piece yesterday. Okay, good. Then here's what I do. Do you have enough to get to both connectors? Like if you removed both of those fittings that are there now, if you removed both of those now, do you have enough pipe to go from here to here? Yes. Smoke, a slip coupler is again sort of the same thing, like as in a shark bite, because let me kind of show you the difference if I've got any of that in the shop. Okay. It sucks I don't have any inside the shop, but just for a shark bite essentially works kind of like this, right? You put the pipe in, and that little thing, instead of twisting it, it just grabs, and then that pipe won't come back out, right? Because it's going inside and outside. It's getting pressure from here around the inside of that and the outside because of how the shark bite grabs. It grabs it from the inside and from the outside. And then it doesn't move. But it does allow it to spin freely and do all that stuff, right? That's, but on a soft hose, Smoke, you have to have a clamp that'll grab. A shark bite won't grab a soft hose. It just won't work on that. And the main reason is that these are thicker than a typical, like a garden hose is thicker than a plumbing line hose on the wall of the material itself. The one side is perfect, the other had a little cut, a little shorter to be able to get the space, but then it's too short. Right. So, because it's in the ground, you don't have a lot of pressure, like where you can move pipe back and forth. That's kind of what I meant, and that's also sucky because in order to get room for the pipe to be able to flex and bend out of its own way like that, because it'll do that. Most pipes will do that, right? But if they're in the ground, buried all the way up to here, buried all the way up to here, they don't have any room to do that. But if you dig back this far and you dig back that far, then all of a sudden you can do that. You put the fitting in, right? Say this is a fitting, you lock this thing into the fitting, and then you push them back down, and then it does that. Tight. But you have to have room for this to happen. So you have to dig back. What smoke means in a slip coupling, a slip coupling is meant to prevent that because a slip coupling will go on top of the thing, right? Say this is the thing, and this is the slip coupling. Slip coupling will go on this fitting and slide all the way down it. And then you bring this down, and then that fitting will slide all the way back and be onto both pipes. But there's no such thing on a flexible pipe. If that's an underground, just waterline pipe, yes. But if it's not, and it's more like a hose, then it won't take a coupling like that. But you're still gonna have enough room of pipe out of the ground to be able to move it out of its own way. Because even if that's like that, you still have to be able to lift it up, put the coupling in, and still get it back down to do that, right? But the key for that is to have enough free pipe to get to it. I gotta get ready for another smoke session. All right, Smoke. Have a good one, man. Let's see. Hey, Nikki New, how you doing? Yeah, you're just gonna probably need to dig it back and give yourself some working room and give that pipe some flexing room. Um, it's embarrassing. I'll show you though. Hopefully the feed will stay. Sometimes when I go outside, it goes weird. But I'll show you. I did this in my front yard 2 months ago, but I haven't buried it yet because I have to wrap it. But I'm gonna, and then I'll show you how far I had to actually dig to get to this situation. Yeah. See, I've got copper, and I have to have room for that to put in that line. And then I had another break back here, and that's what smoke means in a slip coupling, because I could put this on that pipe, put it in the ground, and then slide the coupling up and connect to that pipe. And I had multiple breaks because the cable guys both came out and dug a hole right in my water line. Anyways, see, I had to go back that far and about a foot deeper than what it is now. It's filled in a little bit in order to get room enough to work for it. Hope that was a little bit helpful. But the tolerances are tight. That sucks. That's not a fun scenario. That aggravated me and took me all day. Ordinarily, I would have thought that would have taken me about an hour or two. All day. It'd take like an hour or two to rest and relax from it. I was so frustrated. Let me get you on the charger. Yeah, it's crazy, Smoke. There were literal nicks in the pipes. Oh, I'm glad that was helpful. So, yeah, I was getting worried about you. Yep. So, I think we got it figured out a little bit. And good luck with it. That's my coffee. I was out there all day yesterday digging and fighting with that damn pipe. It was cold and wet. I just got so aggravated in the end when it was still leaking. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Plumbing outside, wet, cold, and then you go to turn it on and then water's just like, okay, you know what? I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get it. You see the rainbow flowers, just go home. I'm not sure what that means, but that's funny. Plumbing is rarely fun. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's fun when everything works right away. Right. When you discover it didn't work. Now, imagine, right, I did all that and then I patched it up in one hole. I'm sure I got the hole. And we go up there because I welded the first one, turn the water on, and it's leaking 6 inches up the pipe. Cut that out, put in a new piece, turn it on, another foot up the pipe. I was so mad. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Plumbing with Wes and Flossie. Mm, maybe I'll make me a sandwich. Put some toast on or something. Who knows? Wes does it. Bow, 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 bow. I feel accomplished. I got something done today. Smoke said I did HVAC for years. Copper line set leaks are always a pain in the patootie. Smoke, I have done every trade but HVAC. I've never set a line. I've run plenty of duct work, but I have no idea even on the theory of HVAC. Law said I sure can't afford 5 grand for somebody else to do it. For sure. For sure. And it's just and I don't say this to put down plumbers. Like, it sucks. Like, we feel the same way when we're doing it. That's why plumbing is expensive, because you do all the work and then it might leak again. Water is very difficult to tame, particularly when you got a problem area, that you may not even be familiar with. And sometimes the cookie crumbles that way, and then you got to go back and do it again. And you better make sure you get a check for one of them trips. Smoke says people think it's an awesome trade, but if I'm there, the AC is either broken or doesn't exist. If it's blowing cold, I'm gone. AC work sucks. I'm either in your attic or under your house all day in the heat of the summer. Yep. And the thing about it, Smoke, is much like plumbing, and that the people are not happy about it either. So they're a little bit miserable. They're a little bit in a hurry, and you're hot, and you're the problem solver. And occasionally they're going to treat you like the actual problem. I make it a point to all my clients, whenever somebody's frustrated with something that's happened in their house, I say, listen, I've never broken anything in this house. I am only here as an answer to existing problems, whether that be aesthetic or mechanical or whatever. But I only come to fix stuff. Either you or somebody else broke it or it just got old. None of those things are my fault. Best part is a cold air smile when it's fixed. That is that is true. Flossie, you will experience the no leak drip smile when you fixed it. When you got it done, it's very satisfying. Very satisfying. I'll tell you one little tip too, Flossie. Let me see if I can illustrate this properly over my coffee mug. When you got those two pipes on the ends, go ahead and get those couplings in and set here and here. Boom, boom. And then I'll let this mug be my third hand. And then on the third one, if you can get a little bit of, if you can get it to, I need something a little more flexible than this. I'll find something. Hold on, hold on. I just had hoses here 2 seconds ago. Either way, if you can get it to bend, if you get this exactly right where it fits, both of them, right, just right where it goes, nice and snug both ways. That's how you want to measure this middle pipe, up to that bracket, up to that end. And then you want to try to put a bend in it. I don't know how much, what your distance is, but if you got more than like 3 feet, give it a little bend, tuck it, press down, and it'll push itself in a little bit on each side. And you can wiggle it, and it'll push itself in on each side. Yep. Put the couplings on the outside first, and then put in the twisted. Yeah, but remember when you remember put your pipe clamps on that pipe first. Raw pipe, pipe clamp, slide it back, and then put your coupling into the pipe. Bring your pipe clamp back up. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to get to where you start doing all this and then realize that you don't have hose clamps on. And then you have to take it all back apart to put the hose clamps on, slide them back up to grab onto all of these couplings. Yeah, put the new pipe and just press it down like it's gonna bolt. Just press it down. Just get it into those couplings like my elbows are the ends of that new pipe. Pop it in a coupling, pop it in a coupling. It's gonna be a little awkward, but when you push down, ugh, it'll force it out and they'll seat these couplings. But not necessarily a twist, but yeah, a twist in, like a wiggle, but not a turn. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. I've got a tendency to over explain things. Oh, the pipe couplings you got twist in? Mm. Hmm. How does a pipe twist in on each end though then? Trying to think of how that orients. Don't know. But if you got them on before, you'll be able to get them on now. The only difference is you just need to see them further. Um, that's it. And to do that, you might have to put in the middle pipe, but you'll be able to see that. Man, I was about to go. Kind of woke me up again. I'll tell you, one of my favorite classes in college was typography. It's weird how all of that is just sort of theory now. Uh, Fonts and what we call them and why we call them. I don't even know what I was doing all this time. Funny. Twisted Sister. Boom. I don't know why I went to some Seinfeld riffs just now. Um, it started out a moon shape, and I wanted to see how sharp I could get the tip and still be able to get a clean cut. And then I learned, and it gave me a nice little chip. And then I made it a C. This is mostly just tooling, understanding, and me seeing if I can accomplish specific shape and see what levels of agility I need to have more or less with the tool itself. Also, a good way to test sharp and get comfortable with how it should perform so that I'm not having that conflict in the space as I'm creating something that's, you know, that I might like. Exercise, more or less. My son took some chunks of wood from the palace to carve on the cube pieces like that. Excited to see what he comes up with. That will be cool. I should love it when the kids get interested. The heck? Hey, Craig. Thanks, man. What's up, man? I appreciate that, Craig. Thank you for coming through, man. Listen, I appreciate it. That's on every little help. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, I've been just playing around with this, kind of halfway carving a face. But I think I'm going to take a little break, clean up a little bit the space, get the vibe back. I'll be back and check y'all out in a little bit. I'm glad I could help Flossie out today. I'll be back.